Listen, I was vibing. Everything was playing. I turned everything off with the music. Welcome, everybody, once again to another episode of the Straub Bros Sports Show. Big bro Ken, little bro Andrew. Little bro, how we doing?
Doing real good. My team, Chelsea today, I got the jersey on. 2-0 win against Tottenham about 30 minutes ago. It goes to show that no matter how bad my team can be, they are always good enough to beat Spurs, and so we're doing good.
Okay, slow down on the footy. Your first podcast as a college graduate. Yep, mom threw it up. Congratulations, Andrew. How does it feel? Does it feel different?
No, I mean, I've been kind of living like a college graduate since about February now. So we're doing good, though. We're doing good. It feels good. Thank you. I appreciate it. And listen, we're moving forward in life.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you all for joining us here on the 216 Sports Network. The 216 Sports Network, that's where you find us. Follow and like us on Facebook. Like and subscribe on YouTube to find us and the whole rest of the crew. Don't forget about the whole rest of the crew. That would be 4th and 15 with Melon Smooth, the Jay Rich Show, the Ruler's Minute with Rico McGee, who had just dropped multiple episodes in the last 2 weeks, Outside Interference, and the Straub Bros Sports Show. Straub Bros Sports Show. That's us. You can find us all over the place. You can find us on TikTok at the SBSS, Twitter, X, whatever you feel like calling it, at Straub Bros Sports, on Spotify. If you want to catch up, if you want to check out all the episodes of Crunch Time that I would have done. Sorry, making sure the phone's plugged in while we're doing the pod. Can't have that happen. That's where you find us. Also, a big shout out to KZ Productions. Like I said, we are on their Facebook and YouTube page as well. So if you're rocking with us for there, if you're wondering who you are looking at and you're strange, you're like, what? Well, it's my mama's favorite guys, us, Straub Bros Sports Show. Also, another big shout out, since we're throwing shout outs all around, to my guy Austin Fink, my guy over at Create Your Own Wave Apparel, for rocking with us again. It's not even rocking with us again, just rocking with us in general, because that's what Austin does with us. On Instagram, Create Your Own Wave 2021. Go and get your actual merch from cyowapparel.myshopify.com. Oh, we're not done. I was about to say all the shout outs are out of the way. No, they are not. I've got one more. Where did you put it, bro?
Oh, I got it right here. Let me get it put up.
Oh, you didn't put it in yet?
No, let me get it put up. It is did not load. You know what? We'll work through the show, and then we'll put it in.
We'll take care of that big time at the end. In the meantime, let's get rolling because we've got lots of news to talk about. A bit of it's sad sports news in terms of a retirement, but I don't want to make it sound like anything serious has happened. But we've got a retirement. Candace Parker has retired from the WNBA. A GOAT. Okay, I know there's been a lot of back and forth GOAT conversations in the in college basketball lately. Candace Parker is unquestionably a GOAT. McDonald's All-American, McDonald's dunk contest winner, the first one for the women, I want to point that out, a 2-time NCAA champion, the 2000 number 1 pick in the WNBA draft, the only player to ever win MVP in their rookie season, 3-time WNBA champ, WNBA Finals MVP, a 5-time Russian League champion, and a Euro League champion, 2-time gold medalist, and an amazing analyst. Candace Parker, absolutely love it. We will be seeing her all over TV as well. But
absolutely.
We already see her all over TV. I already want to give a shout out to my guy Kurt. What's up, Kurt? My guy Kurt from work.
Thank you.
That's my G right there. Thanks for checking in, my guy. But roses to you, Candace Parker. UAB. We got to talk about UAB. Has joined the Players Association. Wait, what? Yes, making them the first D1 football team to do so. Here we go. We've got NIL. We've got NIL. We've got everything else. College football is a mess, even though I love it so much. Here we go, bro.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you say, who's next? Because they're not, a Power 5, but you're going to see a lot of Group of 5s come in. You're going to see a lot of, lower teams start to do this. But then who's going to be the first big school to do this? I am very, very interested to see that, because we just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger in terms of player power and player authority in the NCAA. And I want to see, I'm just curious, how big is this bubble going to get before it eventually bursts?
I agree. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we're gonna need some bigger teams to jump in before this is really gonna be something that we're gonna have to talk about. But it's always a small school. It's always a small school, right? A UAB, a Northwestern, to try to make the ripple effect. I get it. We'll see. Like I said, we will see what happens. Let's switch over to our first hockey segment. The NHL Board of Governors is the last hurdle to be cleared, but it's already pretty much a done deal. The Arizona Coyotes are moving to Utah. Sad, not because Utah is getting a team. They should have one. That's cool. I got no problem there. But once again, another sports league taking a team from another city and moving it to somewhere else. If you know anything about the NHL, and here, I'll give you a quick rundown. This thing back and forth with Arizona has just been awful. I happen to have this weird rooting interest in Arizona just because I grew up playing with them on NHL 94 and 95. I think it was maybe 96, one of the two. I'm old. Yeah, screw you. Shut up. But it is what it is. But they've had stadium issues. They were at one point playing in the college's hockey arena. It's been an absolute mess. They apparently are keeping the door open for a team to return to Arizona, but I'm not hopeful.
No, it looks very, very bleak. I was watching one of their last home games, and the longtime announcer of the team went through his story of how he started as a radio DJ on a station in Arizona, and they got the rights to do the commentating of it. And his journey of them saying, we want you to be the announcer, and him not knowing a lot about hockey, but then learning to just become one of its biggest fans and Arizona's biggest supporter and the voice of the Coyotes. It was really heart-wrenching to hear, but everyone there seems to be taking it kind of as a farewell tour instead of a sadness kind of thing. They love the experience that they had. They love the time with the team, and they are hopeful. They are really hopeful that they get a team in the near future. And I'm wishing them best of luck for that, because as a fan of a team whose team got ripped away but then came back, there is always hope that could happen.
I'm gonna let you slide on that one, even though you were barely even alive. Well, you weren't alive when they got taken away, and no, you weren't alive when they came back. So it killed this city. The city couldn't handle it. Oakland deserves a baseball team.
And a football team, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And Arizona deserves a hockey team, period. They got Cleveland. Because that's the thing. Utah is going to get their own team. They are not taking the Coyote brand with them. That is staying in Arizona. And the owner has been given first dibs to an expansion team. So because it isn't, they can't get a stadium built. That's the problem. If they could have got a stadium built, they're there. And if they get it built, they're probably going to give them another team. But they shouldn't have ever taken them. But here we go. We're going to do this again. I'm not in the greatest of moods today. It's been a long week. I don't want to rant at people over things we shouldn't be ranting about quite yet. But Arizona deserves a hockey team. Oakland deserves a baseball team. I stand on that business. Let's switch gears to another sport we don't normally talk about a lot, but we're going to right now. Boxing. Cleveland, stand up. Ohio's own Jared Anderson has a heavyweight bout coming with Deontay Wilder. That fight's going to be scheduled for around August 3rd. Jared Anderson is one of the best up-and-coming heavyweights out of Ohio, and he's undefeated. Just amazing prospect. He's going to get a big-time fight. So let's see if we can make that happen. Jumping back into the comments, what city was the Coyote before Arizona? I do not know. Arizona moved. They moved to Arizona in like 93, 94, I want to say. I cannot remember. But I'm going to switch this over to you, Drew. Look this up on your phone. I do believe wherever Arizona came from got a team back, but we'll see about that. Hockey's pretty good about when they take a team, they usually give it back to you for the most part. But yes, that's one part of the boxing. Ray, slow down. I got you covered, my guy. Yeah, he wants to talk about it. Mike Tyson. Yes, Mike Tyson versus one of the Paul brothers. No, not the wrestling Paul Logan, the other Paul Jake. They are going to have a boxing exhibition, a sanctioned fight. This is awful idea. I don't know how this is going to work because when Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr., there was a lot of rules. It was unsanctioned. It was a complete exhibition. There was no knockdowns allowed. There was no scorekeeping. So they're going to have a legit fight. I understand that Mike Tyson is older, but technique and skill, speed fades. Okay. Technique and skill, okay? A guy's always going to be able to throw a punch. Mike Tyson's always going to be able to know where to hit you. Now, he might not be able to hit you as quick, so Jake better get in there and use all that speed because, oh my goodness, you slip up one time and, oh my goodness, that man is going to put you down. Yes, you're absolutely right. Cleveland represent, no, love him or hate him. And this is no hate towards Jake in any way. I'm just saying, like, listen, man. Have you seen those videos of Brian Scalabrine, like in his age now, just taking YMCA studs to just class because they think they can ball with them? I know Jake has fought some. This is a real pro.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be very, very interesting. Just to go back because I did find the notes. Their change was in 1996. And the team that was before the Arizona Coyotes was the Winnipeg Jets, who, as we know, do have a franchise.
Boom. See, hockey's pretty good about that. I will give them that. Usually when they take it away, they will give it back at some point.
That is
Ray,
a very good
I'm
point.
watching in hopes that I'll get to see one Tyson knockout live in my life. I'm with you. I was very young. I remember some Tyson fights. Or no, I don't. The only Tyson fight I remember actually watching was the Holyfield fight. We watched that way before you were born. Yeah. Speaking of boxing, we're on our third boxing note of the week. I love this. Listen, I'm going to be doing the Golden Gloves boxing, spoiler alert, next year. Next year, I will be covering the Golden Gloves boxing. So we're going to start introducing some boxing in here. What does Nick say? Oh, Nick says Jake can actually box though. No, he can. And I'm not selling him short, but this is anytime an amateur in any way steps in the ring with a guy who's done it for as long as Tyson has, I would be scared. I was scared from when he fought Floyd. But Floyd don't knock anybody out. Our last boxing note, we're gonna end on a sad one. Ryan Garcia failed his drug test. Bad boy. I'm not going to speak on it much, but what you can do is head over to the Rulers Minute, search Rico McGee. You can search the Sports Minute on Facebook, the Rulers Minute on TikTok, and you can find out what Rico has to say about that because I did not watch that fight. Rico watched that fight. He covered that fight. He talked about it afterwards, and he talked about it now. So check out our guy there. He'll break that down for you. Drew, give me some news.
Yes. So switching over to a more watched sport, I guess, in terms of this day and age of baseball. The Rays and the Brewers had a little bit of a kerfuffle.
You were supposed to have saved that for the baseball segment, but that's okay. We'll cover it.
They had a little bit of a kerfuffle.
There was
on the field.
A
little bit of fisticuffs. Benches were cleared. 4 players were suspended. Now, I do have a question here. But obviously, we have hockey as the most well known for fights, and it's sanctioned in a sense. But then you think of baseball, and you do think of brawls. It happens 2 or 3 times every year, at the very least. What do you think? Like, is what that's happening there okay, or do you think we should have some like rules put in here or something? Because it's getting kind of interesting now that we're now looking at it at a player safety perspective.
I don't know if I'm gonna shock people. I don't know if this is gonna be strange because of some other comments I've made before. I love baseball fights. Okay, love baseball fights. if you have a new place to follow the Straub Bros Sports Show, I have officially turned my Instagram over to the show, which I had pretty much already done anyways. So if you go on Instagram and you go at Straub Bros Sports Show, hi, that's us. I actually shared a reel this week, I think yesterday, of Randy Johnson. It was the Seattle Mariners versus the Cleveland Indians at the time. Randy Johnson throwing twice at Kenny Lofton's head in the same at bat. I watched that game live. And Kenny wanted the smoke, and then Sandy Alomar wanted all the smoke.
He did.
I'm here for it. I love baseball fights because rarely do guys ever get hurt. You know what I mean? It's not like hockey where these guys are like legit just, rock'em sock'em robots, just throwing hands in the middle of something. Shout out to my beard, which is so long that it's getting blended in with my shirt, because I refuse to shave it this week. But yeah, I love baseball fights. I hope the Guardians get in one soon. I wish they would have beat up
Who
Houston.
in that team was going, like, other than maybe Jose, but he doesn't really like to fight. Who on that team do you think is gonna?
Excuse me. His name is Josh Naylor. He fights bats.
No one wants to fight Josh Naylor. He's too crazy for people to want to fight him.
You're right. The Guardians can't get, spoiler alert, the Guardians can't get into a fight because nobody's fighting Josh Naylor. Absolutely, we're putting them back up, putting that up on the screen. Down goes Anderson. Down goes Anderson. Don't nobody want to smoke with Jose, okay, or Josh Naylor, or Josh Naylor, or Bo Naylor, okay. No.
I think my favorite in baseball is the relievers coming from the bullpen and not doing anything, just like kind of grabbing each other, and then once it's over, like, all right, we're gonna walk back to the. It's the best thing ever because they don't want to fight; they're there to just support and have a good time.
Never listen. There's nothing you can do to convince me that there's something wrong with a baseball fight. So sorry. Go ahead.
All right, next. Transitioning over to football. The Pittsburgh special teams coordinator today has announced that they intend to use Justin Fields in some of their special teams packages as a kick returner. Ken, what are your thoughts on that?
Stupidest shit I heard all day. And I heard a lot of stupid shit at work today. Seriously, like what are we doing? And here's the thing. I guess this is my own fault because I'm on the record as this. I think Justin Fields is one of the top 1 or 2 runners with the football in the NFL as a quarterback. I'm not joking. It is when he takes off and the way he can move around, not take big hits, still get extra yardage, get out of bounds, extend plays. The problem is he can't throw. He hasn't been able to show the ability to throw. So when all you can do is run, sometimes those look like great highlights, and other times it's just like, yeah, we know what you're doing now. I think this is dumb. I think it's stupid. If Justin Fields went to coach and said, hey, I want to get on the field, I want to get the ball, I want to be a punt returner, then I'm okay with it. But I don't know, like we could go so deep dive into this conversation. Like we don't believe him in as a quarterback now. Like we were asking the quarterback that the Patriots drafted out of Tennessee, is he going to play tight end? Like I don't want to do that. Thank you, Steelers fan, checking in there. Craig, it is stupid. It's dumb. Like, no, I want Justin Fields and Russell Wilson to be studying in the playbook and being prepared to battle for a QB battle. Last time I checked, Steelers didn't say Russ is our guy, Fields is the backup. They said these guys are going to compete. So, yeah, stupid.
No, I agree. I knew some people liked it just due to the base of the new kickoff rules and being able to kind of do different ways and different packages, but at the end of the day, you are putting a quarterback that potentially could be your future in harm's way in the special teams unit. And I don't think it's a good idea because I think you have much better playmakers in that sort of area of the field where Fields is elusive, but you have players who are fast. And I think that's a bigger concept than that. I just don't think it's a good idea.
Number one, runners. And the other thing, oh, okay. Well, that is a change. Tomlin said Russ is the starter. I can't get the comment to click, so I'll just tell everybody that that's what Craig said. Yeah, Tomlin said the Russell, but quarterbacks who run, even then, are still built different. Okay, they don't take big hits because they still need their arms to be okay, to be able to throw. These guys don't hit the weight room like running backs and wide receivers and other positions. It's just stupid all around. I'm sorry. I'm getting way too caught up on a preseason a week after the draft NFL news. I'm sorry. Keep it rolling. You got any more?
Yeah, I got two more.
All right,
One,
come
we're
on.
going to stick with football, but at the college level,
Okay.
an ex-Colorado player, Xavier Smith, has gone on record as publicly criticizing Deion Sanders' coaching style. He has said that he had made no effort to get to know him and that he just does not, he's very harsh and doesn't seem like he cares about his players. Now, his son, Shedeur Sanders, has responded to this and saying that he was very mid at best and barely got on the field. I don't know if that really answers the question, but it is kind of funny.
Absolutely funny. Well, here I'm mad again because I didn't have my my Coach Prime glasses. I left them in the other room, and because I did not think we would have a Coach Prime story. Number one, here's another stupid. Here, exactly the same way I feel about the Justin Field news is how I feel about this. Stupid. Okay. Number one, I'm tired of these kids who got dumped and transferred and got told to get the hell out of Colorado for crying and complaining for two reasons. Number one, he walked in the door immediately. Okay. There was no, all of these players have complained in the past that coaches lie to them and they don't tell them the truth. They sell them that they're going to play and then they don't and they sit. Like we on this network in the 216 Sports Network, me and Mel did an interview with Aaron Garcia, former Arena League quarterback, a monster, and an absolute legend and GOAT in the Arena Football League, who played in college, who was told he was going to play, and then they brought in Drew Bledsoe. And guess what? He didn't get to play anymore. Okay. He even said in an interview with us, man, I wish I would have had a transfer portal where I could have then gone somewhere and played. Okay. Like, I'm so tired of the fact that, oh, Coach Prime was mean to us. No, he walked in day one and said, you guys are gone. Find somewhere to go. And guess what? This kid transferred down and was like an All-American on the D1, whatever, D2, or at wherever level he went to. He was absolutely tearing it up. And now he wants to come out and say this stuff. And then here's the other thing. Then we have Shedeur responding. Shedeur, don't respond to these things. Like, I get it. Let it go. Although it was funny. We don't remember. It must have been mid at best. But like, I don't like that. And then the whole thing about he doesn't care about his players. However, my counter to that would be the fact that like what Coach Prime has done with the spotlight. And everybody's like, oh, he makes it about Coach Prime. That's the funny part. You listen to these interviews, and the first thing he does is start talking about the kids and start talking about the players. Like, he's also famous and likes being famous. There's nothing wrong with that. And he uses it to direct it towards his program and the money brought into the program. So I got a problem there with all of that. Number one, I've also seen the video of him pulling over. And we give all our love because I don't exactly know where the situation is at right now. Former NBA player Nate Robinson needs a kidney, I believe it is, to survive. He doesn't believe he has long to live. Well, his son plays for Colorado, okay? And there's video of Coach Prime pulling him over and just checking on him and making sure he's okay. Well, why is Coach Prime do it on camera? He tapes his entire practices. So you want him to turn the camera off to talk to the kid, or just to so don't I don't know. I'm done with this entire situation because I think everyone's dumb here. I don't think anyone. And then Coach Prime got involved and was going back and forth with the kid's dad. Like, there was the video today, him threatening. You know what? No, and I saw that. I saw that whole video. I loved it because basically what happened was they left the locker room a mess, and they brought, I don't know if it wasn't recruits through, but they were bringing like people through to look through Colorado's locker room, and there was just crap everywhere. And he threatened all of them and said, you leave your house like this? No, you're all going to clean it up and you're all going to run because of a couple of guys. And if we do it again, yes, you will be cut. Like, so I don't have a problem with that kind of stuff because in the same breath, we say we're going to treat these guys like NFL players. Okay. We're going to treat these guys like NFL players. We're going to pay them like NFL players. We're going to treat them like adults. Now Coach Prime's treating them like adults and it's, well, he doesn't care. Well, what do you want? Do you want him to care and lie or tell the truth and hold them more accountable? I want him to tell the truth and be held more accountable. I want him to coach the Dallas Cowboys. Spoiler alert.
Listen, I completely agree. I think that
hold on real quick. Wasn't he bringing in DJs? I don't know, maybe something specifically, but all of these coaches have this kind of stuff. They all have fun. We just put the spotlight on who we want to put the spotlight on.
Yeah, I think the issue is that,
and yes, we absolutely.
This is what.
Hold on, real quick, and then I am going to let you roll. That discipline. I have no problem with it, and those kids don't, and the parents don't. So Go ahead. I apologize.
I think this is what this is what most college coaches like want from their players. These are standards that are nationwide. I think there's just a massive spotlight on Deion that any decision that he makes is going to get criticized one way or the other. Now, was this potentially just one player being upset, or is this a bunch of players just not liking his thing? Maybe, but that's why you have a transfer portal. Sometimes coaches' mentalities and players' mentalities don't mix, and you go. Now, would the message of what Shedeur Sanders says been better if he wasn't his son? Kind of, because it looks like you're like, oh, I'm defending my dad. But like,
a wide receiver. There was another wide receiver that got involved.
Right. So like, regardless of that, you have players that obviously back him and look up to him and think that he's a great leader. That's not going to be for everyone. Everyone has a different coaching style. Everyone has a different way that they treat their players. That's how you go. But the things that there are coming out that he's doing are not like out of the ordinary things. If you listen, there are stories on Brian Kelly that would blow your socks off if you heard some of that stuff.
Well, yeah,
so I don't want to hear stuff about Deion with this kind of thing.
No offense, Dabo Sweeney got in trouble a couple years ago because a player sued him because he was forcing kids to go to church. Like all of these guys put in their own strict way of this is how we do it. Now, I'm never going to shy away from this because we are pro Coach Prime on this podcast. I am pro Coach Prime. I wear his sunglasses. He needs to be better on the field. I got nothing for that. 100%. 100%. He did inherit the worst program in college football. 100% as well. But it's time to put up. But I also would argue if we didn't have the media not overhyping, but overhyping and showing every single video and every single thing, we wouldn't have to be like, hey, be better on the field. We'd be like, hey, did you guys happen to see that Coach Prime chewing his guys out because the locker room was dirty? Oh yeah, Coach Prime bringing that discipline. But because it's the 12th video you've seen in 2 weeks of Coach Prime, you're like, hey, is this guy really that? And I get that. 100% fair criticism. Okay. Whew.
Last one.
I need you to handle it because I gotta, yeah, you know.
Go do your thing. So last one, we are going to transition to the other football, and that is soccer. Tim Howard, for those that don't know, was a U.S. goalkeeper in the early 2000s to the mid 2010s. It has been announced that he is entering the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame. For 121 appearances for the U.S., he had 49 clean sheets. He did not give up goals in any of those appearances. Included a 16-save performance against Belgium in the 2014 World Cup. Unfortunately, we did not win that game, but it was an absolutely stellar performance by Tim Howard. He goes down as one of the greatest goalkeepers in U.S. history, right along Brad Friedel and Brad Guzan. But it will forever be known as one of the players on that roster that did not make the 2018 World Cup. However, that does not diminish any of his accomplishments in U.S., but also through England, where he played for Everton and Manchester United. An amazing goalkeeper, giving him all of his flowers, an amazing goalkeeper that you can see on NBC giving commentary and making fun of goalkeepers' errors every weekend. Congrats, Tim Howard. It is massively well-deserved.
Absolutely. Ray knows enough. He knows him some Timmy Howard. Yes, former Manchester United goalie. Did not fare well at Manchester United at all. I only hold it against him a little bit that he played at mid as Everton his entire career, but he was a monster while he was there. The greatest goalie in United States men's national team history. I don't know if Strabo mentioned that. He probably did.
Sorry. I said one of with Friedel.
Yeah, I give it. Yeah, between him and Friedel. But of course, I'm going to take my guy Timmy there. Yeah, you deserve it, Timmy.
Absolutely.
All right. Switch it up. Are we done?
Yes.
Oh, no, I've got one more bit of news. We've got one more bit of news. The Kentucky Derby is this weekend.
Yes.
All right. The beginning of the Triple Crown. I love me some horse racing. Our family holds the Kentucky Derby, especially the Triple Crown. Well, the Triple Crown races, but especially the Kentucky Derby, near and dear in our heart. Our grandmother loved horses. Our family would actually make us all pick a horse. You know, she would either pick one by a great name or how beautiful the horse was. Our family group chat blows up because we all have to pick a horse. We still continue to do that throughout many years. Odd wise, hold on, pause, Ray. Drew, first of all, we'll go back to the odd stuff between the two of us. Give me your horse that you picked per family.
Yes.
New Straub family group chat horse picking.
Yes. So yeah, I won't go based on odds because there is a method that I learned from someone in Louisville, Kentucky that knows his stuff about horses, but we'll wait on that.
Ooh, I might not let you give those away, but that's okay.
The best name that I found that I would go with if you're just going straight on names, Grand Mo the First. That is an incredible name. I think he's like 55-1, which is way up there, but it is an incredible name. And just based on that, if I didn't see any odds, he'd be the horse that I would pick. Absolutely incredible.
So I usually do this by two things. If a name jumps out at me big time, I usually take it. Or I lean towards the 5 horse, you know, the number 5, literally the number 5 horse. So number 1 at work, I drew randomly, because we're working and doing other things. I drew number 8, just a touch. So there's one. My name though, none of the names really struck out at me. Epic Ride was okay. So I went with the number 5 horse, Catalytic. Okay. And then I happened to pick that horse and realize the jockey is Jose Ortiz. So track phenom, Yoel Rosario. So some odds. Ray talked about odds. Okay. Your favorite, Fierceness, 2-1. Sierra Leone, 5-1. Catching Freedom, 8-1. Forever Young, 8-1. So those are your favorites for the Derby. $5 on can. Listen, I'm gonna be putting those all over the place. Okay. I'm gonna be spreading them out. I definitely I'm not gonna lie. Jose Ortiz is not the jockey that I was thinking of. Is Joel Ortiz, I do believe so. So that's also the rapper. So I could just be completely out of touch here because I don't do most of this stuff until the day of the Derby when I let those smart people tell me what to do. But Drew, give the people the cheat code.
Yes. So this is based on, like I said, a person that I knew that like went to the Derby every year, did some analysis with some higher ups, like he knew his stuff on this.
All right.
He said that if you want to make money, and this is money,
that morning,
nothing under 10-1 is worth it because they are slightly favored, but the odds aren't good enough to take them. He said the most likely outcome to make most for your money is between 10-1 and 15-1. If you want to make, because those are the ones that if you listen to the pre-commentary, they will give you analysis on some of the horses and how they're doing that day, because that is very key. The ones that are 10-1 or 15-1, they have very similar odds in winning to horses that have been in the top, 9-1, 8-1, and stuff like that. But they will pay out a significant amount more. So I know I want to say Dornach and Just a Touch are two within that range that are very, very good ones to look at. But like I said, do not put a bet in until you hear some analysis of the day, because every year there is at least one horse that is scratched due to some condition or another, and you do not get your money back if that happens. So pay attention to that.
I mean, sports obviously runs in the family. Our love of football, the footy, obviously runs deeply between the two of us. I did not realize 1-800-GAMBLER ran that deep between us as well, because that is amazing gambling analysis. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I went with my 5 horse last year and it won. So I'm gonna ride it again, because that means I'm gonna absolutely just lose my butthole this weekend. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. Either way, and I know this is gonna be, wow, this is wrong. I know I'm promoting gambling. Put a buck on it. Have some fun. Either way, watch the Kentucky Derby. If not for me, if not for you, watch it for my grandma, who can no longer watch. She watches them up in heaven. Do it for us. It's a great time. We'll be having a little Kentucky Derby get together ourselves. So there you go. That wraps up your news. Time to give out some awards. Your honorary Straub Bro of the week. Bro, I've only got 2 this week.
Okay. You know what? You had one last week, so we're trimming it down.
Well, I
I
had one
appreciate
and
it.
an honorary one, so that'll work.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
All right. So my first one, this man's name is Quantez Stiggers. Now, no one has probably heard of that name, but let me give you some background here. Quantez never played college football a day in his life. What did he do? Because he knew he had some talent. He signed up for the fan-controlled football league at a team called the Bored Ape Football Club and was a cornerback. This man balled out, stood out to some Canadian Football League scouts, where he then signed to the Toronto Argonauts last year. A lot of people expected him to be cut. But what did he do? He became a day one starter. He made the CFL All-Star team, and he won CFL Rookie of the Year. That was out of his first season. He then went to the East-West Shrine Bowl, where a lot of the college athletes go to get attention, and he got the attention of NFL scouts. And this all culminated.
Oh, get it together. Don't freeze up on your Straub Bro of the week, my guy. We'll let him reset. Hold on.
Day 3 of the NFL draft, where the New York Jets selected him 176. It's an incredible story. I hope he kills it.
100%. Now, you froze out a little bit on that for me. I don't know, but we got the important parts out that he was drafted and all of that. So that's all that matters. Only one this week as usual. You followed the rules?
Always one.
Okay. Well, I've got two. I've got a football one and then an honorary celebration one. First of all, a lot of Irish players drafted. First of all, my Notre Dame Irish were well represented in this draft. My Cowboys, Layfoot, linebacker, come on in. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Sam Hartman was not drafted. However, Sam Hartman signed right after the draft. However, as quickly as our love affair began with Sam Hartman, it quickly ends for me. Sam Hartman signed to the Commanders. So this is a farewell Straub Bro of the week, Sam Hartman, because you won't be getting one from me anytime soon, regardless of what you do with the Washington Commanders. So farewell, Sam. Congratulations to you, though. I am glad that you made a roster, made a team. And my other one, I want to give a big shout out. Like I said, this is your first Straub Bro sports show as a college graduate. UC,
Yes.
Mr. Degree in aerospace engineering. But we had a great celebration for you. The MVP and the Straub Bro of the week goes to your buddy Tim. Shout out to our guy Tim, who made sure that everybody got back home into their hotels. He made sure we got you home after you got to the club at the end of the night and could not make it through the club. But that's okay, buddy. That's all right. That's all right. You held your own. You knew when to tap out. So shout out to you, Tim. I don't know if you're live with us or I don't know if you'll run it back. But shout out to you, my guy, for making sure everybody got home. Our DD there. Shout out to Tim. All right, man, way too long not talking about the important stuff. So let's do this. We're gonna have some fun this week. This is gonna be Sports Center featuring the Straub Bro Sports Show. We're gonna do a wraparound and everything else in sports. I know we just did the news, but let's dive in. First things first, the NFL draft. Give me the graphics. We had a lot of chalk, and then we had some weird things happen towards the bottom. The top 5. I would say top 4. Top 4 went chalk. Caleb 1, Jaden Daniels 2, Drake May in 3, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4. So, nothing to really talk about there. I was not surprised by the Chargers. I know a lot of people were. They need help.
The more you look at it, and the more you see Harbaugh, you see it makes sense.
The offensive line was not good. They went and got the best offensive lineman in the draft. There you go. We knew Minnesota was going to go and get JJ McCarthy at some point.
Called that.
Right. I absolutely called that. We knew that was going to happen. So that's your chalk. All right, let's just get it over with. We'll talk about it ourselves as a show. Everybody else has talked about it. Rico's talked about it. Atlanta, number 8, Michael Penix Jr. taking a quarterback. If you want to know what our resident Atlanta Falcons fan, Rico McGee, talked about or felt about it, go and check that out. Bro, what are your initial thoughts?
I just want the Atlanta front office to walk me through their decision-making process, considering they just signed a veteran quarterback in Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $180 million contract. And the only thing they really needed to focus on this draft was defense. And instead, you draft one of the older quarterbacks in this draft at a spot where you had
who's ready to go.
When you had wide receivers available, offensive linemen available, and literally any defensive prospect you want, because none have come off the board yet. So I want to know what their thought process was there, because I could see some angles, but
I'm going to tell you,
still doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to tell you, and Nick stole it from me. But a bit of the I'm sorry, way down there at the bottom. My comments got thrown out of place. Jordan Love 2.0, as in we're gonna have this guy ready. Although if you were gonna do that, you draft a younger guy. However, yeah, here's the other thing, and this is the thing that most people didn't realize. They followed it up by going end, tackle, end, or one, like 3 straight defensive guys on that. There was no, and this is what most people have said, there was no one player in this draft on the defensive side that was that lights out that was going to turn this defense into that team. Now, Lay2, and there's some guys who could potentially be that, but there was no, this draft did not have Myles Garrett.
No.
Okay. So maybe that, I think it's weird. I think it's weird because you're not going to get the best thing now. You're either not going to get the best out of Kirk Cousins, or you're not going to get Michael Penix in there as soon as you should. So you're not going to get the best out of this. I maybe would have traded down, but that's a head scratcher. We'll see, because now, like you said, yes, Ray said it's a 4-year deal. It's $100 million guaranteed, I think, through the first 3 years of that deal. Of the minute he has a bad game, people are going to want Bo Nix in.
Oh,
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It's strange to me. I did see something funny that just says Kirk Cousins should play on Sundays, and then Michael Penix Jr. should play anytime they play on Thursdays, Saturdays, or Mondays, and they'll be good to go. But that's a strange one. Another one, it's on my list here. Brock Bowers. Well, here we'll go Bo Nix. We'll go Bo Nix first. Nix at 12 to Denver. It's a surprise in terms of not a lot of people believed Bo Nix was a first-round pick. But I have a reason to believe that it could be okay. But you go first.
So quarterbacks in general go way higher than they should. That's a given. And so Bo Nix getting in the first round when he's maybe not a first-round talent isn't surprising. However, when you look at the organizations like Denver or like Vegas that are so desperate for a quarterback, if he didn't go to Denver, he was going to Vegas. So so I think Denver played the smart move if they wanted a quarterback. Now, Brock Bowers at Vegas, you were feeling a massive need there. They would have snatched him up if they did not have if Bo Nix was not drafted to Denver.
100%. So I'm going to start with Denver. The way I will spin this, if I'm a Denver Broncos fan and I'm like, I need to make sure I like this. Okay, your team believed in Bo Nix. Okay, he was not going to make it. You don't have a 2nd-round pick. Remember, Denver did not have a 2nd-round pick, so they would have had to traded multiple picks to get up. Denver has holes all over the place. So if you're Denver and you're like, I want to make every single pick, but I want Bo Nix, then you have to take him with that 1st-round pick so that you can still continue to make all those picks. Are you reaching? Potentially. If Bo Nix becomes the starter and Bo Nix becomes a top 20 quarterback in the NFL, they didn't reach for nothing.
Yeah, no, that's kind of like how Patrick Mahomes was. Everyone thought that Kansas City taking him so high was a massive reach. Now look at him, like it's all just based on what the system is. And what I talked about it before the draft, that is the quintessential Sean Payton guy. And so Sean Payton has his man. Let's see what he could do with him.
Listen, I knew he was going to Denver when I got told that all of a sudden Bo Nix was Drew Brees. I was like, oh, okay, well that's an easy one. We know where that's
Yeah.
going. Now the Brock Bowers one. This is what I don't understand. So obviously you get to Vegas. Vegas, they need a quarterback. They want a quarterback. They didn't draft a quarterback, but whatever.
There's no quarterbacks available, but like at the time.
You drafted Michael Mayer last year, which pissed me off because the Cowboys didn't draft him. Now you just drafted Brock Bowers. Now we talked about all throughout the year and in coming into the draft how talented Brock Bowers was. Like I said, they lined him up in the backfield at Georgia, slot receiver, wide receiver, tight end. But you've got a guy like Michael Mayer who's a great tight end. So now are you telling me you're just going to run 2 tight ends, or you're going to put Brock Bowers everywhere else but tight end? That's a strange pick. If there is no quarterback and you're a team like Vegas that has many holes to fill, why not trade out of that spot? That Brock Bowers is a head scratcher there for me. Big time.
This was straight best player available. This guy probably on their board was too good to pass up. They, in their mind, regardless of fitting him, they thought in their minds that this guy was too good to let another team take him and either trade out or fill a need, because sometimes that's what teams think. They have holes, but if they think a guy supersedes that with his talent, they're going to take him.
And my counter to that would be when you have there's one position for me, or a couple positions for me, that when you have a young player that you think is going to be a star, and that would be quarterback and tight end on the offensive side. When you have a young guy like that, you usually don't take another guy.
That's fair. No, it's very fair. It's very fair.
You just don't. So that's a head scratcher for me with Las Vegas. For the most part, going on down through the rest of that, I mean, a lot of chalk. Pittsburgh picking up some offensive.
You got another receiver.
Casey. Whoa, that's towards the bottom. We're not there yet. Flexing around the middle there. My Cowboys traded out of 24 when Jacksonville broke my heart and took Brian Thomas Jr. because, oh my goodness, I thought he was going to fall to me. The Jets not taking Brock Bowers was also a surprise. I hate to jump around like I did. I get it though. Like, we lost Aaron Rodgers 32 seconds into a football game because they couldn't protect him. So I got no problem there. Yeah, but the Cowboys traded out because obviously Jacksonville took Brian Thomas Jr.
And still got a good pick though.
Yes, and then we dropped down to 29, and then Kansas City jumps up and takes Xavier Worthy. So all of the wide receivers that I almost had are gone. Jacksonville cut Zay Jones. Cowboys call Zay Jones. But it is what it is. Not just Zeke, which just put the whole old squad back together. Whatever. Depressing. I'm not mad about Tyler Guyton. I said in the draft I wanted Tyler Guyton. I got what I wanted. I got an extra pick. There's multiple things we'll talk about with that. Denver, please don't ruin Audric Estime. Please. But that's another one. Oh, and the Giants. Haha.
Looking at some notable draft selections.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. Is it me skipping around? Haha, Giants. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's also the Giants are very funny. So, yeah, if we look at this, a lot of these guys, so obviously you see Spencer Rattler going to New Orleans and Jordan Travis to the Jets. I think those are really good places. They could sit behind some veteran quarterbacks. Obviously, one is more veteran than the other, but I still think Derek Carr has a lot to give in terms of, talent and also some words of wisdom to to Spencer Rattler. So no desperate team that's going to force him into a position when they're not ready. Yeah. If you're looking at the other ones, Washington took Jean-Baptiste, Denver took Estime, the Chargers took Cam Hart. And then if we look at some other ones, Blake Watson to Denver, Luke McCaffrey to Washington, Blake Senat to Washington. These were all in our sleeper picks, so Washington might be great depending on if we're good on all these picks or not. And Cincinnati's Juwan Briggs did come to Cleveland. We will talk about that in a minute.
Can we talk about my guy, Drake Rodriguez?
Of course.
The Holy Trinity Academy.
From parts unknown?
Parts unknown, the Holy Trinity. Yeah, Denver picking up some running backs. Please don't ruin Audric Estime. Did I say that before? I don't know if I mentioned that. Please don't. But yeah, Denver.
All right, Ken. We got to put you on the spot here. Here are your selections.
Oh,
Give me your thoughts.
There's no running back.
Yeah.
That's my biggest issue. This draft, I think, is an A+ for the Cowboys if they're or not an A+, but this is an A to a B+ draft if there's a running back on that list.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. You got a lot of good guys. I like Cooper Beebe. I like Tyler Guyton. I like your Luafau from Notre Dame. I like all these guys. But yeah, there's a massive thank you. There is a massive hole there. And now with the coming out that you are a running back by committee coming to, this is going to be a very interesting offense.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean? How do you have a running back by committee when you don't have any good running backs? That's you have no choice but to have running backs.
Do we want to move on?
No. And I don't know what the group chat is talking about, or what the comment section is talking about. Oh, Zeke. Oh, yeah. Like I said, yeah, I'm good with the guards. I like them both. Like I said, BB Guyton, Leafau, out of Notre Dame, like, absolutely love it. I'm here for it. The wide receiver I liked, and I liked the defensive tackle too. But like I said, one of those picks has got to be a damn running back, or go and pick one up here. No, we'll stay here for a minute. Then. We should have signed somebody. I wanted Aaron Jones. I mean, is the crop top back? Yeah, the crop top's back, baby. The band is back together. The glue is back together. The glue, as in our offense doesn't move. It's stuck in the mud. It's glued to the damn turf. Yeah, let's all live in frustration. It's great reviews, I know. And it's real because I'm pissed off. And I've already had a bad day. By the way, Straub Bros of the Week, brought to you by Create Your Own Wave Clothing. Don't ride the wave, create your own wave. Because I needed something to cheer me up. Yeah, whew, man, I hate this. And guess what? I'm still gonna draft him in fantasy football, so F all of you. Oh, this is awful.
All right. Let's do it. All right. We got through the Cowboys draft. Now, let's talk about the Browns draft selections.
Go ahead.
And I just want to tell everyone, I told y'all what the draft was going to be, and I hope y'all listen to me. We went defensive tackle for the first pick. We went with my second choice that I put out there because the first choice was already gone. Second pick, we went with an offensive lineman. Zach Zinter is very technically sound. He just needs a little bit more aggressiveness on his blocks, but I think he'll turn into good. We hit a wide receiver, like I said. We drafted the linebacker that I talked about that I wanted. And at the end, we picked up a Bearcat, which is never a problem. I think overall this is a very solid draft for the Browns, mostly because I made this draft, basically. There are no picks that scream future, and all of these picks kind of are in the help now kind of thing. But this is what we expected from this front office. This front office is in major win now mode. And so these are the picks that represent that. A D tackle that is you want to start day one. A guard that is going to come in and get some reps in case there's some injuries. A wide receiver that's going to help. A linebacker that's going to help. These are all now picks. Not a lot of these are future picks.
First of all, I'm going to say something because Nick brought something up. It's night and day with these recaps. That's not true. I am happy with the draft. Like, we picked up everything that we live. Oh, first of all, yes, live in your glory. You absolutely nailed the Browns draft. I'm going to give you 100% credit. You absolutely killed it with who you actually picked. I just want to say, just for the record, I killed it in who the Cowboys positionally would pick. I got my first one right. I'm happy with the draft. I just wanted a running back in free agency somewhere. Okay. Somewhere Jerry Jones and his all-in bullshit had to get backed up by a signing somewhere. Okay. So I was just saying, okay, I do love the draft pick. So let's not get there, but you absolutely nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
And I love the draft too. It wasn't one where like, oh, they're going to do this. And then I was proven right. I wanted these picks to happen and they came true. And so, you know what? Maybe I should get put on as an assistant GM. Give me the call. I'm ready.
Got you. Hey, listen, I'm here for it. And then these guys telling me I did sign a running back. Yeah, I got you. Ha. I'm enough of y'all. I do want to talk about some best drafts though.
Yes.
I want to give a couple shout outs real quick. That would be to the Arizona Cardinals.
Real good drafts.
They're in a build mode. They need players, right? They made 12 picks. Yeah, Rico Dowdell. Okay? And Deuce Vaughn, my 5'9" running backs. I hate all of you guys so much. But yes, Arizona Cardinals making 12 picks in their NFL draft. I like that. I like it. You need players. Draft 12 of them. See what happens. Carolina took some big swings with Xavier Legette and Jonathan Brooks. But if they work, they put some real pieces around Bryce Young. The Indianapolis Colts, Leitu, Adonai Mitchell, offensive line, and finish up the draft cleaning up on that defense because they've got a quarterback they believe. So absolutely. And then I'm gonna give some love to the Chargers, and I'm gonna also laugh at Jim Harbaugh, Joe Alt in the first round, and Ladd McConkey. However, I think this was funny. 2 guys from Michigan, 1 from Notre Dame. I'm sorry, 2 from Notre Dame, 1 from Maryland, a.k.a. 5 of the 9 picks for the LA Chargers were either Midwest Big Ten area guys. Jim Harbaugh. New England, 7 of their 8 picks were on the offensive side of the ball with a team that has a great defense and could not score. That is exactly what you need to do, and they did it. And Ray mentioned it in the comments. San Francisco, they hit its needs. They hit some tackles. They hit some defensive linemen, and they grabbed a wide receiver. Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk coming to a trading block near you. One of those 2 will be gone because they can't pay everybody. It is ridiculous that San Francisco continues to kill this. But anybody else?
Yeah, and so you basically hit all mine. But you're good. There is one that I think, and I'll bring up the comment here from Ray. Rome Odunze to Chicago at 9 was weird, but when they have Allen and more, but giving your cornerstone quarterback that you have messed up time and time again as much weapons as you possibly can only do good. Will your defense possibly struggle? Maybe, but you need to give that quarterback confidence going into his next year, and then you can build around him. But you need it. If you give him weapons, that is what you need.
We don't forget about you, baby. We don't forget about you, baby. Here's the other thing. Can I ask the question? Oh, and the comment's going now. Are we sure DJ Moore's good? We're sure.
He's not bad.
And who else did they add?
Something Allen. I can't think. I can't think of his name.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
No, he's good. I just can't think of his name.
There were NFL scouts that rated Rome Odunze above Marvin Harrison Jr. So I got no beef with them going and getting the quarterback that was ranked number 1
Keenan Allen.
And Keenan Allen, wide receiver. Keenan Allen's going to be hurt by week 8. What are we talking about here,
Ray?
It's
like 100 too.
What are we talking about, Ray? Come on now. Well, not. And I like this. Shout out to Cedar Hill, Texas. Confidence capable to get the Bears to the playoffs. Listen, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Why not? I got no reason to not believe in it. So, those are your best drafts.
Right.
I do want to point out a worse draft. More a question.
Okay.
Minnesota. Because if Sam Darnold is not good, if JJ McCarthy is a bust, then holy, you sold your draft for nothing. Okay, I'm just saying. All right. Yeah, shout out to yeah, exactly. That's what Ray was full bias in that one. Hey, and DJ, listen, let's see.
He's got great burst. It's just he's not that consistent. That's the issue.
And let's see what happens when he's got a real quarterback thrown to him. Denver's got a questionable draft just because, like we said, if Bo Nix doesn't work out, what did you do? Seattle?
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird, I think.
Nick, listen, Nick, I love Cole Kmet. Notre Dame owned Cole Kmet. Got some great cards. I own him some great patches. We've been saying Cole Kmet is going to be a sleeper as long as we've been talking about. I can't even. 3 years. I think it's 4 now. Like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Cole Kmet's a sleeper, and Dak's on the verge of making a breakout. Yeah. That takes care of your NFL draft.
Hey, so listen, you do draft him every year.
I did not draft Cole Kmet last year.
I feel like you did in one of them. Maybe not ours, but at least one of them.
Yes, I normally do, but I'm just saying. No, I did not.
All right.
Not this year. All right, let's move it on.
Move on.
Time to guard the land and move around the MLB diamond. Damn it, our Guardians are so good. I know it's been an up and down series here in Houston, but we are so damn good. We are one of the best teams record-wise in the American League.
And to prove that,
go ahead. Booyah!
American League standings.
I love that. That is absolutely amazing. Since we last talked, Nick's sending the screenshot of me drafting Cole Kmet. I knew it. I'm not saying it wasn't a possibility, but
thank you.
Since we last talked, we took 2 or 3 in Boston, and we only took 1 of 3 in Atlanta, but that was the other team, with the best record in baseball. World Series aspirations. We did come back and win a good one. Listen, other than this Yankee series, though, we have, which had a rain out, we hadn't dropped a series all year. So, I mean, and we still have yet to be swept. Kwan's in the top 3 in batting average. Jose's top 3 in RBIs. Clase was 3rd in saved. I also want to point out that Ahmed Rosario is also on the top of a couple of those lists.
Yeah.
Yes, we then got to Houston, and like Nick said in the comments, we found out that Hunter Gaddis is human. I wasn't sure about that because he had been so lights out, but he absolutely was. We dropped the first 2. Kwan came through with a big catch in the extra innings last night. But listen, this Guardians team starting to, kind of come back down to earth a little bit. The pitching, this is going to be the problem. Those arms are going to start to get taxed, just period. Yeah. Just in general, the Carrasco outings are getting tough. Let's just be real about it. But our division sucks, so we're going to be in this all the way as long as we can continue to hit, and we can hit.
Yeah, and I will say that Kansas City Royals record is a little misleading because if you look at teams over 500, I think all of their losses, or at least most of their losses, come from over 500 teams. They only have about 6 wins. So that is a little misleading. We are above in over 500 games. We are above 500 in teams that we play that are over 500. So it's not a fluke.
I got you.
But I also want to point out here
that the Astros own us, even though they're not very good this year.
It's okay. I want to point out, we knew the White Sox were going to be bad.
We didn't know they were going to be this
6-25. Like, they only have 1 win on the road. They are 1-13 on the road. They are awful this year.
I love it. What do you think about that?
I think Manzardo, more pressing.
For the people who are listening, Manzardo needs brought up. 7 bombs in 25 games. I don't care how. Just get him up here. I mean, can he play catch? And Ray asked, can he play catch?
More pressing needs. I think we have more pressing needs in the fact that you have pitchers that are getting back from injury that are doing that. Let them come through. Let them get settled in. If Manzardo continues to prove to us that he can't stay down, then you make the tough decision and bring one of these guys that are hitting the crap out of the ball right now, because there's not many players other than the catching position that are not hitting well. You have players that maybe their averages aren't great, but they're getting RBIs, they're getting home runs. And so let's not do what we did last year, 2 years when it was necessary and you wanted to bring all these guys up. You have a core here that's doing well. Let this play out a little longer, get the pitching stabilized, and then we can talk about it.
I disagree.
I know.
Bring them up. I told you I want all the kids. Bring them up. Let's do it. Why not? Why?
Yes, if you had a little more offense, we win all of them. But you also, if you don't blow the game at the end, then you win those games too. We can say both.
Cut hedges.
But then when are you playing Manzardo then? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to become one of those Rocchio scenarios where he's sitting on the bench 90% of the season like he did last year. If they're going to come up, I want them to play. I don't want to bring them up just for the sake of bringing them up. You know what I mean?
Okay. Hey, I get it. I don't actually disagree with you. I'm okay with it, but he can't stay down there for very long. No. Let's move around the diamond a little bit. Some things some points I want to throw out. Things I've noticed after I've been watching baseball on one of my 9 TVs running every night. The Yankees are good. I know that sucks for everybody. Orioles are good too, but yeah, Yankees are kind of good. Our division is really bad. Really
I mean,
bad.
if you look at in terms of standings, it's not terrible. It could be worse. Listen, we're gonna go to the NL, and I'll show you a bad division.
No, I'll get there in 1 second. The AL
Look at
West.
the AL West.
I was going to say the AL West is a struggle bus as well, but Houston is not going to be that bad. Houston's going to find a way to win ball games. They own us. The Angels are a dumpster fire. Mike Trout going to the Yankees here soon. Oakland is Oakland. Texas has got the hangover from the World Series. They'll be back. And Seattle, we'll see if they can get rolling. I said the AL West is the struggle bus. It's a dumpster fire. I know. Our division is bad too.
I forget what team it was, but the Angels struck out that team yesterday 18 times. They lost. Oh, it's the Phillies. The Phillies struck out 18 times against the Angels. They lost. The Angels lost 2-1.
I mean, yeah. Listen, you don't got to tell me. All right, let's hit the National League.
Look at that NL Central, baby.
Yeah, man. So a couple points I want to make out. The Braves are awesome.
To be expected.
100%. The Phillies are good too.
Yeah.
Haha Mets. How's that going? How's all that money going?
Is Lindor batting his weight yet?
Hey, listen, I don't like to pile on Lindor. I'll just pile on the whole team.
He was bad like 40 at some point. It was like there's no bragging. It's just it was bad.
The same way you mentioned, how Chicago was going to be bad, but we didn't think they'd be this bad. Miami, 9-24. That was not supposed to be that bad of a ball club.
We knew the Rockies were going to be bad, but
right, same thing. The Dodgers are going to get this together and get it rolling too. I mean, yes, 20-13, but I'm just saying, like, we'll see what happens there. Oh, are we referring to Texas in the group chat? Yeah, Texas is going to get rolling. But the Padres. Are the Padres ever going to actually live up to any of the expectations and the hype that was all there?
Their window closed last year, in my opinion. They had that core rolling, and then they choked it away 2-3 years in a row, and now they're living with old players on fat contracts. And so I think their window is closed. I think it's the Dodgers to take. I think that there's no real competition anymore like there was a year ago, 2 years ago. It's the Dodgers to lose.
Ooh, I like that. MLB Phoenix Suns. That's what Nick called them.
Yeah.
And then Arizona struggling a bit too. I mean, but everybody, a lot of teams kind of struggling. It's still, let's be honest. It's May.
Yeah.
Nobody has really separated themselves except for, I would say, Atlanta. We see what's going on. We see what the Dodgers can be. And then on the other side, the Yankees, Orioles, and your Guardians, because we guard the land, baby. So yeah, that's your trip around the diamond. And that's your baseball news. So let's keep it rolling. Let's get to the playoffs, baby. It is time to let them know. Gotta let them know. We'll get that out of the way. We've got some NBA playoffs to talk about. We'll start over here in the Eastern Conference. Boston wrapped it up against Miami last night. Absolutely blew them out. No Jimmy Buckets, no chance for Miami. I mean, I know they've done stuff like that in the past, but the Celtics kind of have figured out that they were not figured it out. But they were going to not allow Miami into this series. But we'll see. The East is weak this year. So I want to see what I don't believe in the Celtics quite yet, just because I don't believe in anybody in the East so far. We've got the Knicks and the Sixers going to a game 5. Game 6 tonight. That'll be pretty awesome. Joel Embiid hampered again, bro, but Tyrese Maxey, 46 in a huge game 3. The and one, the block. This kid's coming, man.
Oh yeah, I think the issue is so we all say that like Jalen Brunson is dragging this Knicks team, which he is. He's leading in points and assists. But if you look at Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, and you compare that to Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, the top 2 scorers for the Knicks, Philly only gets 44 points on average from their other starters and bench, while the Knicks get 58 points from everyone else. So we talk about the Knicks and Brunson. We got to talk about Maxey and Embiid being the only scoring options basically for the Phillies or the Sixers this entire playoff series.
Nick nailed that one. Best series in the playoffs so far. Absolutely. The problem for Philly is by the time they get to the fourth quarter, Embiid is just shot.
Yeah.
So they need to find a way to try to like maintain a lead to let them be there. The Pacers and Bucks, this should be over. The series should not be continuing to go on. I can't even believe this. Indiana, shame on you for not being able to close this out. And then our beloved Cavaliers and Magic.
Away games don't matter when you have home court advantage.
Last time me and you talked, they were up 2-0. We were all flying high. It's all good to get punched in the mouth on the road, Cleveland Cavaliers. They survived Game 5. A huge block down the road or down the stretch there from Evan Mobley was absolutely huge. This Cavaliers team though is just, and I'm looking at the bracket here. He did mess that up. The Lakers did win a game, but we'll get to the Western Conference. That's all right.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
We got Boston next if we get out of here, and I don't know. We'll see.
No, yeah. I think the issue is you saw it at home too, but it was blatantly obvious on the road. We are, other than Mitchell and then maybe Strus sometimes, their shooting performances that we have are so poor that there's no second option if Mitchell's having an off quarter, an off 5-8 minute stretch. And then there's a massive lack of in-game management that is going on that I think is really hurting this team. And listen, one wrong move could really lose you this series because, listen, we're going on the road tomorrow against Orlando. We're going to see if it's the same. And if the same thing happens and it's Game 7 at home, there is no room for error. And unfortunately, we haven't looked good enough where we can handle those errors on Game 7.
If we do get past them, and like I said, yes, we get to the Boston Celtics. Yes, Porzingis went down. If they don't have Porzingis, that would be huge. Mobley and Jared Allen. However, our guards are going to get cooked. Darius Garland is going to be an absolute liability on defense against the Boston Celtics in the playoffs. Okay, but we'll see. We'll see. It's all about matchups. If Allen and Mobley are able to dominate in the paint, we can win. We should be worried about Allen right now too. So,
speaking of injuries, if somehow the Bucks can get past Indiana and they can get Giannis and Lillard somewhat back, that's dangerous as anything. Because if they're putting up this kind of effort and kind of staying with the Pacers without their top 2 scorers and one of the best players in basketball, they get them back, that's going to be dangerous.
100%. There's all. Not saying the Cavs don't have a chance. I'm just this team has a hard time putting some teams away, and we'll see what happens because Boston is ready to go. All right, let's switch over to the Western Conference. Okay,
chalk.
Whole lot of chalk. We're gonna start with OKC. We're start up top. I'm gonna give some credit to somebody that I listen to all the time, Bill Simmons. I listened to the NBA Over Unders podcast before the season for some betting stuff. And he was heavy on OKC's over, heavy on OKC being a team to beat in this, in the playoffs and, throughout the regular season. And they showed that. They're going to be a tough out, period. Chet, with Gildress, they're going to be a tough out. I do have a question, though, because OKC, congratulations, you get Denver now. So now we're going to see you get the winner of the Clippers and the Nuggets. So you're going to get tested regardless here in the second round. When are the Pelicans going to be good?
Dude, and we give props to OKC, but that Pelicans offense was not consistent that series. They averaged 89.5 points per game. And if you don't average 90 points in 4 playoff games, that's awful, man.
When's Zion gonna take this leap? Literally,
that we've been waiting for.
Right. I don't know. Brandon Ingram has proved to he's a Robin. He has to be a 2. I'm just saying. So we'll see what's going on there. But yeah, okay. So you're in. Nuggets 4-1 over the Lakers. Yeah, you put a 0, but I mean it might as well have been a sweep.
Their late game management was dreadful.
The Lakers led for, I think it was about over 134 minutes throughout this entire series. Yeah. Over 70% of the time, the Lakers led. They blew leads of 20, 15, but they can't close. Jokic is so damn good. So damn good. They're a complete team. Jamal Murray, when it comes to the playoffs, is what this is. If you listen to like the NBA, the pregame shows, and you listen to what Shaq talks about sometimes, and he talks about the others and how guys step up in the playoffs, Jamal Murray is the prime example of that. The guy steps up and he's just absolutely clutch, and he has big games in the playoffs when they matter. But LeBron and the Lakers, get it together. LeBron's gonna opt out. We'll see. We'll talk about all that stuff. I don't want to do that. We could dominate the show with like LeBron related and stuff like that. We're not gonna do that. But good luck. The other team. Let's talk about. Go ahead. Anything you want to mention about Denver? I mean, damn, they're good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Denver. There's a reason why they're the defending champs. They are absolutely dreadful to play against because there is no game off. There is no minute off. They are continuously pushing it and pushing it. And the Lakers, unfortunately, getting up in age, they have to take time off. They have to take plays off. And that's where Denver comes in and they kill you. And there's a reason why there's massive rumors that the Lakers head coach is going to be fired within the next week, is because those late game management decisions were absolutely dreadful and led them to lose those games.
Awful. Fire him. I'm just saying, yeah, LeBron don't need to retire in my mind. I mean, the man had an amazing season, put up some great games.
Just to go play with his kids. It's just to deal with the stress.
The team isn't good. Well, he can't play with his kids anymore. They're coming to the league. He's got to play with them there. They need help there. But we'll get to the NBA offseason and rebuilding the Lakers at another time. Moving on, Timberwolves swept those Suns. Cue all the Devin Booker memes. Who's going to guard us? Apparently the Timberwolves. That's who's going to guard you. Minnesota. Anthony Edwards is him. Anthony Edwards is next. Cue the video of him making the same move Michael did and making the same dunk over that guy. Whoo! A big shout out to Karl Anthony Towns. When he is healthy and focused and engaged, he is a true 1B, 2A, the Robin that you need for a guard, the big man who in now today's game can go in the paint, get his boards, but also step out there and hit a wide open three or even a contested three. If Cat plays like this and the rest of the others are in Minnesota play like this, Minnesota can take Denver. Like Minnesota can take Denver to 6-7 games and make this a series. Especially with Anthony Edwards playing like this.
Yeah, no, they are looking good, and Denver is going to have a challenge against them. It's going to be interesting seeing Cat versus
Jokic.
Thank you. But I want to look at the Suns real quick because the first two games they were not good enough offensively, and you were like, well, it's Durant, it's Booker, it's Beal. They're gonna figure it out, and they did. But the last two games they were dreadful defensively, and this is what everyone said when they traded away DeAndre Ayton because his mind wasn't in it, and they brought in Jusuf Nurkic. Jusuf Nurkic couldn't guard a piece of paper, and I think and you saw that with the Timberwolves where they just got bodied in the paint, and they could not stop Minnesota whatsoever, and you saw the consequences to that.
I mean, 100%. I do also want to point out none of those players are notoriously good on defense. Nurkic, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, or Devin Booker. None of those guys are known for being really great on defense. What a surprise. They can't play defense.
And that's what you had Ayton for, but then you get rid of him because he didn't show effort, but you bring in a guy that also cannot play defense.
Kevin Durant also took more corner threes in this series and in this season than he ever have in his life. I mean, that doesn't make any sense either. But yeah, I feel no sympathy. Blow it up, trade one of them. You're gonna have to because that's not gonna work. I'm really not. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it was a good design together, anyways. But that's it. Yeah. First of all, like I said, Anthony Edwards, 100%. He's a star. He is next. It's been coming. You know what I mean? I love the little clip of him. I saw I don't remember when I saw it from, but it popped back up on my feed of him talking to Steve Kerr. A quote about him coming off the bench for Team USA and him saying that Steve Kerr letting him know, well, Kobe came off the bench, and Anthony Edwards letting him know that we don't have Kobe Bryant. All right. Ain't no Kobe on this team. I'm Kobe for this team. So a star in the making. This, like I said, Ray said it. This is the series everybody is excited for because this is the series right here. Minnesota, Denver. This should be a good one. Another great one too. Mavs and Clippers. I mean, we got to talk about it. Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Dude. One of Kyrie's going to go down as top 3 handles and under the rim finishers of all time.
Dude, his handles are one of the best that I've ever seen. Every time I think, okay, he's getting locked up, he finds a way to just slither out of it. And we knew that he had a jump shot, but he is, and as he's getting older, he has worked on it and he has made it a bigger part of his game, which has made him just age like a fine wine in this point where he is able to do different things and continuously confuse defenses. It's amazing to watch.
You have to guard Kyrie the minute he crosses over the 3-point line, period. Because he can shoot mid-range, and like I said, top 3 and going to the hole too. Like it is crazy.
Ever.
I'm not gonna say ever. I can't do that yet. I mean, I probably would believe it, but it's wild. Luka also stepped up as well. 35, 10, and 7 with a sprained knee last night. Hey, playoff PG-13, where you at, bro? Where you at,
Not
bro?
averaging 19.8 points per game.
Playoff James, you had a good game. Where you at? This Clippers. I'm ready to laugh at the Clippers.
Yeah, and also you have Kawhi, who cannot stay healthy in any season, and when he does, in the 2 games that he's played, he's averaged 12 points per game. This Clippers team continuously has the talent, but for some reason, just all the wheels come off once they hit the playoffs, and it just boggles my mind.
I don't understand Kawhi Leonard at this point, and I'm not trying to say that disrespectfully. I know I sound harsh today on certain topics, but I don't get it. I don't understand. Are you healthy? Are you not? Are you partially healthy? What is going on? Why can you not play 2 games in a row?
It's insane. And like he took the rest during the regular season. We're like, okay, so he's healthy come playoff time, and then come playoff time he's not healthy. So what is all that like time management doing? Like it's not helping. Yeah.
100%.
Dallas is the better team right now. It is what it is.
And listen, I'm pro Luka, so I got no beef there. I'm here. And you know what, Nick? I'm going to give you. Listen, Nick says I'm always hate myself for wanting Derek Williams over Kyrie in that draft. No, you're not, because so did I. Because Kyrie played 3 games at Duke. There was nothing wrong with being like, I want the kid who at least played. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll go on that hill. Like, absolutely not. And listen, it worked out because, yes, Kyrie was the talent he was, but you were not wrong for wanting the guy who actually played. And yeah, like he's time for the Clippers to go home. Go home. Cancun on 3.
Because then OKC is, I think, sweeping. If they get to the next, I think Lakers or the Clippers don't have a chance. If OKC, at least the Mavs have a chance.
And I know I'm gonna switch into the footy, but hey, just like both English teams went home in the Champions League, both LA teams go home in the playoffs. Okay.
Yeah.
But all right, NBA playoffs out of the way. Let's get frozen. It's time to hit the frozen zone. Now here's what me and Drew are not about to do. Okay, we are not about to sit down. We are not about to sit here and break down some hockey. Like, rest in peace, Barry Melrose, the only guy that I know who, or the guy I grew up talking to, hockey playoffs. But this is what I am gonna say. Every night for the past 2, or since this started about a week and a half ago, okay, we have NBA playoffs and hockey playoffs. Yesterday, not yesterday, but the day before as well. I am not joking. One screen had both NBA games. The other screen had both hockey games. I don't miss playoff hockey. Playoff hockey is the greatest thing in sports. Sudden death overtime hockey is the greatest thing that is the greatest thing in sports. I die on this hill. I will go on the. It used to be golden goal extra time for soccer until they got rid of it. And once they got rid of that, it is sudden death overtime hockey in the playoffs. Nothing is better than that. These games have been great. Colorado's moved on. Edmonton's moved on. Florida has moved on. The Rangers in the Carolina Carolina Hurricanes. Almost called them the Panthers. That would be the NFL. But they've all moved on so far. As you see, a couple of the other series going on. Like I said, I have no insight here. Just please go watch. Okay,
Yes.
like, and
So,
this is also your proof that we won't get up here and sit here and tell you some shit that we don't know about.
so I got two things. One, I messed up on the Rangers Capitals. It is the Rangers swept. I think that's a ring over from the NBA, but
okay.
they are one of 6 teams in NHL history to win the President's Cup, which is the best record in NHL in the regular season, and then sweep the first round.
Yeah, watch out for
Three of those
playoff.
previous 5 have won the Stanley Cup, so watch out for the Rangers.
100%.
The second thing, if you like people hitting each other, and I don't mean punching, I mean just hitting each other, tune in. There was 45 hits per game in the regular season this year. There is 83 hits per game in the first round of the playoffs, and 6 of the top 8 hitting teams are currently in the playoffs.
Dude, it's amazing. It's
so
awesome.
If you want to see people hit each other, tune in to playoff hockey.
Regardless of the sport that you like, you can. If you're a football fan, well, then you watch hockey because they hit. If you're a soccer fan like us, watch hockey because hockey is soccer on ice it's indoor soccer basically. So I'm listen. Like I said, I have no dog in this fight. Shout out to the Canadian teams that are still alive. Vancouver, Edmonton moved on. Toronto, who hanging in there. But shout out to those teams. But yeah, go watch some hockey playoffs. All right. It's not a bad thing. Put it on the other team. Put it on the other TV. All right, bro. From one fridge sport to the next one, but our favorite one. It's time to talk the footy, baby.
Yes, and we are going to show.
We have some Champions League this week.
Do we want to talk a Champions League first?
Yeah, we're going to start with the Champions League.
Let's look at some Champions League review.
Champions League semis going on. They had the first legs this week. As you see, Bayern Munich 2, Real Madrid 2. That was a wild game there in Germany.
Yes.
And then an upset, big time. Borussia Dortmund 1, PSG 0. Yes, Tyler, we're talking the footy, baby. Tyler's Borussia Dortmund. Yep, there he is. Yeah, all the love there. You. So talk to me about these two semifinals. A big back and forth game in Germany, and then the upset in Germany.
Yes. So yeah, that first game, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, back and forth. This second leg is going to be an instant classic, just because Real Madrid has the luck on their side in Champions League play. But especially in this Bayern Munich game, they have looked very beatable early on in games, and they've had to come back, which is where the luck comes in. But if Bayern Munich can grab that goal and completely just defend with their life, I think that they can do it. Although my money is on Real Madrid, unfortunately, just because that team just doesn't lose in the Champions League.
I mean, no, it's hard to ever doubt them out. So,
right.
And I mean, yes, Munich have probably one of the other stronger pedigrees, but it's going to be tough there.
Now, like Tyler said, the upset was they were at home, so that does dampen it a little bit. But this was one of the best defensive performances that I have seen this entire season. Yeah. They completely locked down Mbappe. They had a couple shots on goal, but none of them were really that good, or if they were straight at the goalkeeper. And Jadon Sancho, I know he is on loan from you, but what an absolutely incredible performance for Dortmund all over the field, getting other players involved, making opportunities. Absolutely amazing performance. And if Dortmund's going to hold on to this, they need to basically recreate this performance next week. And if they do,
they're going to win.
Bayern Munich wins.
Ooh,
we have a 2013 replay, because you know where the 2013 Bayern versus Dortmund final was played?
Wembley.
And where is this one being played?
Wembley.
So, Tyler, good luck to you, because if that happens, that'll either be the greatest day of your life or the worst day of your life, because history might repeat itself and Bayern might win again. But that is later on.
Jadon Sancho, 25 completed dribbles against PSG, most in a Champions League game this year. I mean, a great game for him. Borussia Dortmund want to keep him. Go ahead, you can have him. I don't want him back. He's all yours. He only plays good in Germany. Yeah, and for the record, yes, Tyler, it was an upset. They have Mbappe. You don't. You're like fifth or sixth in the German division. They just locked up. There's 100th French league title. So yeah, that it is an upset, but great defensive performance. And yeah, now you've
Absolutely.
got to go on the road and handle your business again. This is all you have left to play for. There it is. See, I knew I was right on that since 2008 and Messi. Like, it was an amazing
That's a
performance.
great category to be in.
You have nothing else to play for. Same as same as Bayern Munich. Neither of these German teams have any other thing to play for. Their seasons are over domestically. They cannot win. Real Madrid is it locked up? Is it locked up yet?
Almost. I
But they
think
still have
almost.
games yet to play. They're still in a title race. They're not allowed to lose any games because they're Real Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich. This is all they got left. So PSG, one of their stumbles throughout the Champions League has always been their league is normally done and locked up, so they don't have a lot to play for. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be very interesting. Both semifinal games easily winnable by either team that's involved.
Yes.
But
agreed. Which makes it great.
Absolutely. Speaking of great, we've only got a couple of games left, so let's hit our EPL run and let's take a look at our top three as we get ready to kind of figure out what's going on. Our top three, we had a big result. Arsenal took out Tottenham 3-2. Højbjerg got a goal, Saka had a goal, and Kai Havertz scored once again for Arsenal. A late Youngman's Son penalty kick made it tight, but Arsenal won a game that they would not have won last year. Arsenal fumble points last year without a doubt in this Spurs game, correct?
Absolutely. And they were coasting for the better part of that second half, and Tottenham came with 2 late goals. And that is your typical Arsenal, especially last year, would have given that third goal up and basically handed Manchester City the title right then and there, but they stayed strong to my disappointment and got that win.
Speaking of Manchester City, I'm going to switch around a little bit. They did take care of Nottingham Forest 2-0. Erling Haaland came off the bench after a kind of a shaky first half hour there for Manchester City, but they did what they do and they got all 3 points. And they still have that game in hand over Arsenal. If both of these teams win out, Manchester City will win their 4th consecutive Premier League title. And but if they drop any points along the way, Arsenal can claim their title. But we have a name to check off the list because they did it again, bro. Liverpool 2, West Ham 2. Bye-bye, Liverpool. You bottled it again. Yeah, we could talk about the 2-2 result. Shout out to West Ham for making it a game. But I want to talk about the controversy. I want to fire up some drama because I don't like Liverpool. Let's talk about the Mo Salah incident. If you haven't seen it, Mo Salah, one of Liverpool's most talented players who's rumored to be leaving this year at the end of this season, along with manager Jurgen Klopp, was getting brought onto the game late stages. Jurgen Klopp went over to say something to him. They started to get into an argument to the point where Darwin Núñez, who was also coming on as a sub, had to step in and push Mo Salah away to get them to stop arguing. When Mo Salah was asked after the game to comment about it, his quote was, "If I speak, there will be fire."
Yeah, I think this is just a culmination of the past 3 weeks. They got dominated by Atalanta both games. Well, that one, and then they didn't have a good performance against Atalanta in the second leg enough to win. They've looked pretty mediocre in the title race here. I think this is just frustration on both sides. This is also Salah coming in late. Obviously, he's had some injuries, but he probably wanted to start or get more minutes. This is a culmination of just having all your hopes of trophies and seeing it just kind of slip away and just getting built up emotions on that. I think that's where all this is coming from.
They wanted a quadruple. They wanted a quadruple. They're gonna settle with the Carabao Cup. That's what you deserve, Liverpool. So two alternate versions of what has happened, and I think both are funny either way. There's one angle that shows Jurgen Klopp trying to get a handshake or a high five from Mo Salah, and Mo kind of rejects him. And apparently that might have been what Jurgen was then kind of going at him about, I'm your
Yeah.
manager. Show me a little bit of respect. And then there was also a professional rip leader. That would be lip reader, who weighed in and said that Mo Salah's exchange back to him that we see from the camera, the most famous angle so far, was him saying, "Yeah, I'm going to get a red card. Yeah, for the first time in 7 years, I'm going to get a red card." So apparently Jurgen Klopp may have been trying to give him some kind of advice about, don't get a red card or don't. I don't know. I don't know. It's hilarious either way. Haha, I don't care. It's all going to blow up here in a minute because they're going to have no choice but to blow this team up and just all of the above. Bye-bye, Liverpool. In that entire great run of all that you won. Yes, you got a Champions League trophy. Yep. And yes, you got a Premier League title. Yes, you did. But it's all going down and it's gone forever.
Such a hater.
Absolutely. Don't care.
All right, we can look at the table real quick.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
The top 3 of the title race.
Here's your final run-in. Like I said, that game in hand for Manchester City, man. Now, I will say this, though. They have Spurs coming up, and I know you beat Spurs today. So Spurs has nothing to play for. Them Champions Leagues are dashed. The only thing Spurs can do is beat Manchester City now and stop us all from having to deal with this 4-in-a-row bullshit. So
I'd rather that than Arsenal, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, congratulations. That's you. I will say this, though. If Manchester City play against Spurs like they did that first 30, 35 minutes against Nottingham Forest, they will not win that game. Drew, I'm a little disappointed in you because in your little graphic here that you have, you're missing somebody in the who cares section, but that's okay. Talk a little bit about yourself. Yeah, me.
You have it. You're in the bottom. You face Burnley. You're in the bottom 3.
Oh, you know what? The thing is actually covering that, so I can actually. Oh, my bad. I'm in the bottom 3. My bad. I should be in the who cares section. But Drew, talk a little bit about
yourself. You are later. Yeah. I mean, today's win was good, but if we're looking back on the who cares, Aston Villa, Chelsea 2-2. This was a game where we looked like utter garbage for the first half and let Aston Villa run all over us, and then woke up in the 60th minute and go, you know what? We should actually play this game properly, and we did. And for if it wasn't for a little bit of a controversial push call at the end of the game, we would have won that 3-2. So a good performance in the second half, an off performance in the first half. And listen, this team continues to just confuse the crap out of me because I don't understand how you could play so well in a second half against a team you literally played with 45 minutes ago. But we have a little bit to go. We still have a chance for a Europa or Conference League. I'm not incredibly concerned about what goes on the rest of the year. I'm just going to watch without any real care. And I'm just going to enjoy some soccer. That is my goal for the rest of the year.
How are you about to make Europa or Conference?
We are, I think, 3 points behind you with a game in hand.
Oh, Lord. I'm dropping down the table very quickly.
We're at 8th.
Speaking of teams nobody cares about, Manchester United won, Burnley won. All I have left this season is the FA Cup final with Manchester City, and I don't even know fuck all if I want that at this point.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. I have a chance to stop and blow this whole City train up, but I don't even know how that's about to happen, and I don't know if I want Ten Hag to win a trophy because then we might keep him. I don't know. It has been reported 23 of 27 or something like that, or 26 Manchester United first team players have been transfer listed. The only 3 players who have not are Kobe Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho, and Rasmus Højlund. I'm okay with that.
That's fair.
Bruno Fernandes, it would have to be an enormous price, but I would keep Bruno Fernandes. But other than that, I'm cool with it at this point. I don't care. I really don't care. Just
come with me. Blow everything up. Come on.
Sure. Also in that bottom 3, it is fair to point out with that 5-1 result, Sheffield United have officially been relegated from the Premier League. That is unfortunate. Burnley hanging on. So is Luton Town as well.
And Nottingham Forest is that one right above them, and there is 2 points separating those 3 teams, and so it's going to be good these last couple of games, and I can bring up the table real quick to show that.
Yeah, go ahead, bring up the table. Yeah, as you see, bottom 3 going down. Sheffield United, see you later. See you next year, possibly, or see you in 2 years, possibly. But then, yeah, the rest of those other 3 fighting it out.
3 goal differential.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a tough one. But final day approaching. I think I think we should watch it all. I think we should watch it together. Maybe do a little live stream. Maybe we do a little live
All
action.
games are on at the same exact time. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Right, absolutely. So even if we don't go live doing it, me and Drew will get together and we'll record a little something after, just kind of give our result, maybe go live and kind of give our thoughts on how that went. Excuse me, some other top 3 and notable games coming up this week. You have Arsenal and Bournemouth. You have Man City at Wolves, Liverpool and Spurs this week. That is a big one. Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest. Sheffield United, nothing to play for other than to spoil some other teams' chances of staying up. Everton and Luton, another battle of teams who are just on the cusp of potentially being in that relegation zone. Everton and Luton, who's there. Burnley and Newcastle. Like I said, more teams trying to get points. Chelsea take on West Ham. Yep, good one there.
Woo!
Crystal Palace and Manchester United. That is literally the definition of who cares. I literally do not care. Okay, now on to the team that I do care about. It is time.
Not better results on that side, big dog. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. It's all right.
Let's get into it.
Yep. All right. Some MLS action. Some results. Some bigger results. Inter Miami is really starting to catch some steam here with a 4-1 win over the New England Revolution. The biggest crowd in Revolution history. Tickets for that game were more expensive than a Patriots game was this year.
Yeah, listen, they got their money's worth because New England, a first-minute goal, gave hope to the entire crowd of a possible upset. And that was short-lived as Messi scored a double, hit 2 goals. A goal from U.S. men's national team player Ben Cramashi, and Luis Suarez kept Inter Miami at the top of the table and kept New England Revolution at the bottom of the table.
Reports this week, I read today, Inter Miami in talks to sign Angel Di Maria. Just continue to add players that I can't stand. I love it. Let's just keep it rolling. Makes me just dislike this team even more. But yeah, Chicago 0, Atlanta 0. I mean, Chicago, whatever. Atlanta, whatever. Seattle loses again, bro.
Yeah, so this one was
even though you have them winning to DC United.
Well, they played 2 games. They played yesterday, right, and they beat the Union, but they did lose this weekend when they played DC United, who hasn't looked too bad, if I'm being completely honest. It was a first half game. DC United scored, or Seattle Sounders scored first. DC United came up and scored right before the half, and then an 89th minute goal by DC United took them above Seattle. And they looked rough, but that bounce back game against Union was very key.
And I forgot that this is the Seattle and Union game was called or suspended earlier. They actually had funny rules because all of the 11 players who were supposed to start each game started unless there was an injury. There was a player who was traded in the middle of that. He was allowed to be subbed, obviously, and it didn't count as a sub. So there was some funny rules handed along to that one. I did forget about that one. Drew, you got a big win.
I did get a big win. Listen, guys, I think you guys need to go into your bunkers. You need to get all the food, get your family, your friends, because the end is near. A forward from Cincinnati has scored a goal. In all seriousness, it was a great game from Cincinnati. Our defense continues to prove why it's one of the best in the MLS. They allow very little shots on goal. And like I said, the goal from Baird gives hope that the offense is coming around. Unfortunately, the other striker that we have, he has picked up a knock. But in positive news, we are bringing in another striker. He's Uruguayan. He is coming in once the transfer window opens for the summer. And let's hope that he is the key to unlocking this offense so it is not just Lucho Acosta and our wing back scoring 90% of our goals.
I agree. My Galaxy lost this weekend, but I'm actually upbeat about my Galaxy regardless of their loss 2-0 at the hands of Dallas FC. Yeah, 2 early goals within the first 20 minutes of the game. Too much to overcome. I mean, 16 shots, only 5 on target. You're not going to score goals. That's an issue, especially when you have 60% possession and you complete 91% of your passes. So my captain, Yoshida, summed it up perfectly. We weren't good enough. No one deserves to talk about anything. We deserve to lose. We will learn from this. We will be back. I have said all year, this team can score with anybody. However, the defense is an issue. Well, here, you had your first off week. Okay. You had your first off week as a offense, and your defense could not back you up.
Yeah.
Could not drag you up to get a point. You cannot always try to outscore everybody. You got to play some defense. So I'm glad this happened. We'll be back. We've got Seattle next week. Speaking of next week, we've got Seattle next week. I like that matchup. I know they're coming off of the win against Philly, but I like it. They've been leaking goals for the most part, and I think we're gonna go score some on them. Drew, who you got this week? You have Orlando City.
I got Orlando, who just came off a very, very tough loss to Toronto because Toronto just knocked people around. So hopefully, I'm hoping that hangover from that brutal game is going to be enough where they got to play another tough defense in us, where they're not going to get. I like our chances there. I really do. I'm also looking at that DC United and Philly game. That's an old school rivalry, both kind of scrappy. They're very close to each other. I like it. I am really digging that game. I think it's going to be a very fun game to watch.
Absolutely. Couple other ones. Can Chicago get a win against the New York Revolution? FC Dallas in Toronto, one to watch as well. St. Louis trying to get back rolling. LAFC, can they get upset by San Jose? We really, really hope. At least I do. Yes, I'm a hater right now. And then Charlotte FC. Let's see if they can get back. And then obviously one of my favorite teams to talk about, Minnesota. I don't see Minnesota having an issue taking care of Atlanta either. So that'll take care of that. And that takes care of your MLS. Oh, there is your table. Yeah. Inter Miami starting to separate themselves a bit. Kind of from everybody else. Cincinnati and Red Bull's only there, but in terms of play, Inter Miami is really starting to separate themselves in the Eastern Conference. You agree?
Oh, 100%. Like, we are similar on points, and we have a game in hand. So if we win, we obviously tie them on points. But that goal differential compared to everyone else is just absolutely ridiculous. The highest other than them is +4. They're at +10. Tyler, I will get there. Don't worry, it's going to come up there.
I wasn't talking
Crew have been falling due to them drawing, I think, 6 or 7 in a row. They can't seem to just distribute themselves. But yeah, you were seeing a very, very clear separation at the top of the table there.
100%. Go ahead and show the West. Real Salt Lake on goal differential overtook my Galaxy for first in the Western Conference, but we're good. I just want to be in the playoffs. That's all. We get in the playoffs and you get this offense 2 times. Yeah, you're not going to like it. So that's all right. We'll be back next week. As we said, San Jose at the very bottom, Dallas and Seattle as well. St. Louis making up that last spot right now, currently in the playoffs. And then Colorado turning around after a couple disappointing results to start the season, have kept that momentum going after that Georgi Mihailovic big game. They've a couple weeks ago, they've kept that momentum rolling as well. And yeah, here, give him his love. MLS Crew move on to the final of the CONCACAF Europa Dopa CONCACAF Nobody Cares Cup after they beat Monterrey last night. Shout out to you. You get some love there, Tyler.
Yep, and they will play Pachuca in the final.
There we go. All right, and that'll do it for. You got anything else on the MLS? Because I'm done. That'll do it for your MLS. That'll do it for your MLS. All right, time for you to finish it up for the kids. It's time to talk about the Americans abroad. Drew, talk to us about our Americans.
Let's go. We got a good amount this weekend. We're wrapping up the end of the season. We got some good performances coming in clutch for their teams. To show it here, Malik Tillman scored again, and he did it twice. He is having as successful of a season as he did against Rangers, and this is better because PSV is in a much better league, and he will probably hoist a trophy soon. PSV technically is up 9 points with 3 games to go, but has a massive goal differential advantage against the other team. So all they will need to technically secure their trophy is a draw in their next 3 games, and for the team below them to not score, I want to say, like 10 goals a game on difference. So that is most likely wrapped up there. Next, we have Josh Sargent for Norwich. They get a draw in there, and they just need a draw. There is 1 game left in the championship season. They just need a draw to secure the promotion playoff spot to go into the Premier League. That'll be fun. I'll be rooting for Norwich the entire time because I want another player American player in the Prem. The next one, we have Brandon Vasquez, scores for Monterrey in a 5-2 win in the league. They was in third in Liga MX, but unfortunately, like Tyler pointed out, and congratulations to the Crew, they got bounced out by the Crew in the semifinal of the Champions Cup. The Crew will play Pachuca in late May. I think it'll be a really good game. As a hater, I'll be rooting for Pachuca the entire time. I don't care about MLS superiority. Go Pachuca.
That's awesome.
And finally, in the goal scorer category, we have, again, Haji Wright. And I know we talk a lot about Sargent, but Haji Wright currently has 19 goals, which, to put into perspective, is the most by a United States men's national team player in the top two leagues of England since Clint Dempsey scored 21 for Fulham in 2011 and 2012. Haji Wright is having an absolutely incredible season. They are just outside of the promotion playoffs right now, so it's looking like he might stay in there. But he is absolutely dominating, and he's not even doing it centrally. A lot of games, he is playing on the left wing and scoring from there as well. Absolutely multifaceted and doing an amazing job there at Coventry.
And scored in that FA Cup semifinal against Manchester United as well, and
almost scored your the game winner if it wasn't called for offsides.
100%. He was offsides by a mile. Go ahead.
To look at now your assistant goal. Did I mention Malik Tillman? Well, I'm going to mention him again because he added an assist in that game and a man of the match performance in an 8-0 win. He is absolutely killing it. I love him so much.
Love you, Mom.
Love you. Next, we have your favorite player. You can do the honors.
Busio!
He gained an assist in their win earlier in the week, but suffered a defeat in their next game. They're in third place currently. They have the top spot of the promotion playoffs. They're almost guaranteed to be in there, so that'll be fun. We'll be rooting for them. And Como, who is currently second place with Gio Accini, to get promoted to Serie A in the Italian league.
I need both of my Italian Americans to make it into the Serie A. Come on.
And finally, we have Fuller and Balogun picking up assists in a 3-2 defeat. They are second, but they are not going to challenge or even touch PSG for the top spot. But they are firmly in a Champions League position. This maybe wasn't as impressive of a season as we expected from Fuller and Balogun, as he did last season with Reims. But 7 goals, 4 assists. It's a good start. It's a new team. It's a better team. It's a more challenging team to be a part of. It's a good start, and I think it's a good stepping stone to, I think, have a breakout season next year.
I apologize. I had to kick your nephew out. Absolutely. Are you done with the Americans?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Great weekend for us so far.
100,000%. I don't disagree there. Do me a favor, load that graphic for me.
Yes.
So yeah, that'll do it for your Americans who are absolutely killing it all around. I want to thank you guys all again for rocking with us here on the Straub Bros Sports Show. Your weekly coverage all around the sports. Sorry, I got interrupted. See what happens when I get interrupted. I want to thank you guys for joining us. This has been awesome to do, like, this little kind of, and I keep calling it my little Sports Center roundup, where we got to kind of travel all around the world of sports and kind of give you a little bit of everything as we hit from, the MLB, the NBA, NHL, the Guardians, and all of our news and notes there. Drew, you can throw yourself back in whenever you're ready. But the 216 Sports Network, that's where you have found us. It's where we have been today. You can follow and like us on Facebook. You can like and subscribe on YouTube as well. That's where you can find everybody, and everybody includes all my guys right here, not Americans Abroad. We'll pull that down. That would be 4th and 15 with Mel and Smooth, the Jay Rich Show, Rico McGee with the Ruler's Minute, Outside Interference, and the Straub Bros Sports Show. That's us right there. You can find the Straub Bros Sports Show literally everywhere. You can find us on, and I apologize, I gotta switch graphics. I'm gonna call on Audible on Big Bro and say just forget, or on Little Bro and say just forget it, my guy. We'll just keep it rolling without it. You can find the Straub, don't worry about it. You can find the Straub Bros Sports Show on TikTok at the SBSS. You can find us on Twitter, X, at Straub Bros Sports. And you can find us on Spotify if you have missed anything, jump in there and catch up. I want to give a shout out to KZ Productions for having us on their Facebook and their YouTube page as well. Make sure you follow and like and subscribe there. And as always, a big shout out to my guy Austin over at Create Your Own Wave for once again rocking with us this week. Once again, the kitchen is lit. All right, the lights are on, the burners are on, ingredients are being chopped up, are being cooked. All right, that's all I have to say about that, and I won't say anything else. Make sure you follow Create Your Own Wave at Create Your Own Wave 2021 on Instagram, and go check out the merch at cyowapparel.myshopify.com. Don't ride the wave. Create your own wave, and you become a Straub Bros of the week. Whew. Also, on the 216 Sports Network this week, yes, this weekend, I apologize. That would be Saturday. On the 216 Sports Network, the Sin City Buccaneers will take on the Indy Bison. That will be at 7 o'clock. Follow the 216 Sports Network for a live coverage of that. You'll hear Mel's voice because that's what my guy does. Whew. Drew, final shout-outs.
Yes, shout out to everyone in the chat today. Great talk as always. Love you all. And for those watching later on, whatever time you're watching at, have a great day that day. And for those watching now, have a great weekend.
100%. For the University of Cincinnati graduate, little bro, I am Big Bro, and this has been the Straub Bros Sports Show. And remember, as always, love yours.
Love yours. No music today? It's not working. There we go.